For centuries, Russia had an ally that was never defeated. Not its army, not its economy, the cold. General Winter subdued Sweden. It destroyed Napoleon. It pushed Hitler back. For generations, Russia clung to a single belief: if everything collapses, winter will save us. But now, winter is no longer turning on Russia's enemies. It is turning on Russia itself. As the thermometer drops, Russian cities freeze in darkness. Boilers at combined heat and power plants are exploding one after another. Highways are shut down for days in sub-zero temperatures, not because of an enemy attack, but because the state can no longer perform its most basic duty. For centuries, Russia made an unwritten promise to its people: give us your loyalty. Give us your sons, give us your taxes, give us your silence. In return, we will keep you alive. You will not be comfortable. You will not be wealthy, but you will survive. When the thermometer dropped to -30, apartments were warm. When the sun disappeared at 3 in the afternoon, the lights stayed on. The roads remained open. In a land where winter lasts 9 months and even 20 minutes outside can be fatal, this is the state's most vital responsibility. The Russian state could fail at many things, but never at this. In December 2025, that promise collapsed. December 7th, 2025. Angarsk, Siberia. Population 220,000. -22 degrees during the day. -32 at night. The second main boiler at Combined Heat and Power Plant number 9, the facility keeping the city alive, shut down. There was no Ukrainian sabotage, no terrorism, just decay. Decades of deferred maintenance, temporary patchwork, and bureaucratic indifference converged into a single disaster. 167,000 people were left without heat and electricity, more than half the city, in the coldest period of the year. Within hours, radiators went cold, windows froze from the inside, pipes burst, flooding homes. Then the water turned into solid blocks of ice. Hospitals struggled to survive on emergency generators. Kindergartens could not close. Parents were forced to keep working for the war economy. Teachers wrapped children in blankets. Apartment residents gathered in stairwells, sharing body heat. The elderly living alone were the most vulnerable. Some did not survive. One mother asked, "What are we supposed to do with small children at -30 degrees?" Officials warned people not to use electric heaters. The power grid would collapse. So how were they supposed to survive? That mother wrote a letter to Putin. While her children shivered at home in winter coats, Putin appeared on screens praising Russia's economic strength. Every winter, something broke. Every winter, promises were made. Every winter, those promises were broken, because the people who could fix it were no longer there. Siberia was bleeding, even before the war began. Regions like Irkutsk and Buryatia bore the heaviest burden of mobilization. Thousands of men were sent to the front, not volunteers, conscripted. By the end of 2025, more than 1,000 losses had been confirmed. Bus drivers, mechanics, plumbers, electricians, the people who keep a city alive when winter arrives. They were irreplaceable, and now they are gone. Their families received coffins, sometimes a small payout. But the cost of that loss can never be paid. Russia allocated nearly 40% of its budget to defense. Missiles took priority over boilers. The cost of a single hypersonic missile could have modernized the entire heating system in Angarsk. Putin made a choice. He turned winter into a weapon against Ukraine. And winter came home. Empires do not collapse overnight. They decay slowly. When roads go unrepaired, when aqueducts crumble, when the state can no longer perform its most basic duty, that is how Rome fell. That is how the Soviet Union unraveled. And in 2025, Russia is moving along the same path. For centuries, General Winter defeated Russia's enemies. Today, that same winter is exposing Russia's deepest weakness, a state so consumed by war and corruption that it cannot keep its own people warm. The cold does not take sides. It simply reveals the truth. And the truth is this: the state has broken its contract with its people. It promised, when winter comes, we will keep you alive. Now it cannot. If a nuclear power cannot heat its own cities, if it chooses missiles over boilers, how close is the breaking point? If you want to see how empires truly fall, subscribe. Because real collapse rarely comes with an explosion. Sometimes it arrives quietly, and it is ice cold.